are. I couldn't see you guys behind all the clutter. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see. I just want to go back and say hello to everybody. But yeah, we're going to talk about decluttering tonight. Hey, Alexander, Dark Lord Menet. Hey, Lisa Kolovi. Hello, love the land every day. Hello, Blue. And I do hope you feel better. Get some rest. Hey, Spartman. Hey, Tony, our cabin in the woods. Tired? Yeah, totally get it. Hey there, Craig. Hope you and Debbie are well. Hey, Holman's Homestead. Hope you're feeling better this week. I hope you your back is better. Hey, Lantern Creek Farm. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's about to become winter here. Ooh. So terrible. It's been so nice. So nice. Hey, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Thanks for being here. Hey, Projects with Paul. Good to see you. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm so glad. And I hope Dan is feeling better as well. Spartman, long day here. Started with a lovely case of insomnia. Didn't get to sleep till around 4 a.m. Oh, that is awful. Awful, awful. Because you're at work right now, aren't you? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Leanne. Hope you're doing well. And hello, Farm Fresh. So, yeah, we have been decluttering in a major way. And I think that, hey, Angie, our cabin in the woods. Hope you're doing well. This is not something we do all the time. You know, usually we get a bug about something, or we get irritated about something, or we have enough and then we got to do it, right? And, oh, hey, Bro Cowgirl. Oh, hang in there, Spartman. You're going to sleep good tonight. Oh, I hope your sister's doing all right. Xander. Oof. Yeah, I think you guys are getting the nor'easter, if I'm correct, Leanne. Yeah, we have, we had that snow for Christmas, and other than that, really not much at all. So, but it's about to get cold, and I see negative temps. So today we did everybody's water because it looks like we're going to be below freezing, or I should say tomorrow will be at freezing for the high, but it's going to be below zero for the night. So wanted to make sure that we get all the bedding and the feed that we needed today, because we got the 2 little guys. They're going to need some feed and everything. But so one of the things that I think is really important for decluttering for everybody, but I think it's really important especially for homesteaders, right? Because I think we tend to collect things that we get a deal on or we may use in the future. And we have a lot of collections, if you will. I mean, you see a lot of the auction stuff that, Ryan picks up and all that. And even though we use it, it's a lot, it just becomes a lot. Now, most of the stuff we have doesn't come in the house, but the reality of it is during the busy time, Ryan calls me a crammer, and I admit it. I'm one of those people who somebody's coming over and I quick hide everything behind closed doors so nobody has to see it. And I've been working on it. And so, Christmas time, he had said to me, he's like, we really got to attack this closet. And so we have 2 storage rooms. They're like walk-in closets. Well, we have more than that. We have 3. because we have the room that was in front of where Norman was, and then the wood room, which is where Norman was last year. Then we have another storage room next to it. And so what tends to happen in the busy time of the year, which is most of the year, right, when it's warmer, what do? We work on projects and we drop and go. And so everything gets dropped on the, in those rooms, or we're done processing and we're exhausted and we drop things in. Hey, Christine, welcome. And, we drop and go. And then it becomes this huge nightmare. It's just the reality of our lives. I don't know if you guys do that, but that's what we do. Hey, Bar Run Forge. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you and Happy New Year to you guys. Appreciate you stopping in. So we got the first room cleaned out. We got the second room cleaned out. I then moved on to a spare bedroom that had become a catch-all. Hey, Klingon Princess. Hey, Sarah at Homesteading Hustle. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you. I appreciate the support. So the funny thing is that when, and bear with me, okay, it goes with the cramming. So when my mom passed away, I had all her stuff come here. I also have a lot of my son's things. He's 30, but I have a lot of his things from when he was little that I want to give to him, but I don't feel now's the time. Plus it's kind of hard because I have to get it across the United States to him in Connecticut. So one of the things in the spare bedroom was, it was just full of totes. And it started out very neatly stacked. And then I started sewing and I made a mess out of it. I had to look for something. I made a mess out of it. And then it got to the point, at some point where I had retired. That was 2 years ago, mind you. And all that stuff, all my books, because I'm like a book hoarder, especially when it came to my work books. I had work-related books, something like 5 totes worth. And I wouldn't get rid of them. Well, I finally decided to get rid of them. So I went through that room and closet, was able to change all of that. And then now we have the room that Norman was in to go through, but nothing will get thrown out of there because that's all meat processing and totes that we had from moving. And so at least we're done with the tossing, but we had 2 pickup loads of stuff that we threw out that we didn't feel should be donated. I have right now, it's dark, but all that is getting donated. It's everywhere. It's behind me. It's everywhere. And so the crux of the issue is I want to do a yard sale, but that's many, many months away. So quite honestly, it may get donated. But let me just go to the chat real quick. Your hubby's a drop and go. Yeah, it's totally me. Ryan does it too, though. I'm worried if we cleaned our house out of unused, not needed stuff, we could fill a drop off. You could. I'm sure you could. Most people can. Yeah, I know what you mean, a dumpster. I know, Tony. I know. Hey, Scott SD Mountain Man. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Andale Homestead. Hope you're doing well. Send some good vibes to Andale, please. She had a live the other day and she talked about some sad news on her homestead regarding her chickens. So I hope that they are healing and I hope you guys are doing okay. But sending love and prayers is always a good thing. Scott says he needs to work on cleanup here. Hey, Red River Rat. Hope you're doing well. How do I? Why am I not surprised at this? You rented a roll-off several years ago. I was relentless. I love it. Yeah, I agree with you, bro, cowgirl. Here's the thing. I don't want to look at it in this room in my way for months and months and months because, yard sale season is not next month for us. So the books I am going to try and sell to a book buyback. Oh, Andale said the girls are healing. Good. Yeah, it's been a rough new year for a lot of people. That's life, right? It's up and down all the time. I'm glad they're healing, Anne. And Anne, if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Hey, Grace and Fire. I hope I didn't miss anybody in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Glenda. Thanks, Leanne. Yeah, so I finally decided to part with the books. It was very painful. Like Tony said, his hoard is gold. Me getting rid of books is really hard. Really hard. Especially since I've been collecting them throughout my career. They were very expensive, or they were really amazing reads, helpful for what I was doing. And it was time. It was time. So I called a coworker and I said, I've got these for you and all that. So why I wanted to make this a Declutter Live, talk about it a little bit. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Tina, Life in the Piedmont. Hope you're doing well. So I had been posting embarrassing pictures on Instagram in my stories. And there was such an overwhelming response. I bet you are tired, Tina. An overwhelming response of people sending me messages and pictures of their closets or whatever I was cleaning. They started sending me pictures of their closets and saying, your closet is nothing. Look at mine. You looked at, here's a picture of my spare room right now. You're inspiring me to do it. So it was really, really cool. And then people were sending me pictures and commiserating. It was just so cool. So if you're on Instagram and you want to declutter and you need a cheerleader, I'm here for you because I had a few cheerleaders for me. So really cool. I don't have any medical books. I have all psych books. All my books are psych books from what I did for a living. I have I don't have any that old. I do have some older classics in the field of psychology. But I was very excited. But let me just go to the chat real quick and then we'll get down into it. Thanks, Scotta SD Mountain Man. Things I got rid of this week. A cross pen that I've had since I was 10, set of sprouting trays, a glass container for my makeup brushes. Scale, enough said. Good for you, girl. Good girl. Not embarrassing, girl. That's like my house lately. Yep. Here's the thing. I'm embarrassed to post it, but I've still posted it. Why? Because that's who I am. I'm not going to preach reality and not post it. So I did post it and it was just really funny. I literally pulled out of my closet. It's not even a walk-in. Out of my closet alone, I got one of those real long totes full, and they're all full without lids on because I'm going to take them in totes to donate them versus in garbage bags because I felt that was a waste and it's a pain. So I have one of those, two, then the regular size ones, the regular deep ones. So one large one, 2, 3, 4 of the regular size ones, and 3 garbage bags. Like seriously, I was preparing for business casual Armageddon apparently, when this is what I wear every day. So I'm really excited. We've got everything ready. Let me just get down to the bottom. Oh, Leanne, that is exactly right. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. I can't take it anywhere. My husband is going to remodel the laundry room closet for me. Good. Hey, Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Yeah, I like for lack of a better term, the hoarding shows. The thing that I don't like is some of it is sensationalized. I like when people like Midwest Magic do the free cluttering, decluttering, and cleaning for people who struggle. I love that. I really struggle when it's the sensationalism because I've worked with folks who hoarded before, and it's sad. It's very sad. Let's see, 33 people in your house? Oh, Alexander. That's a lot. I said hi to Jesse and Lisa. I'm getting lost in the comments, so let me just come down here a minute. Dejunking now because I'm taking on an organization class at the end of the month with a nonprofit. Good for you. Hey, Carla, living a rogue life. Love to you. Happy New Year. And that's a great idea, Scott, to give it up to people, that are in your family. I love that. Oh, I'm totally guilty of keeping stuff that I can use one day. Leanne, that helps a lot. Let me tell you that you make your own dresses. My problem is I have too many projects I like to do. I get it, Heather. Oh, you hit the nail on the head, Suburban Hillbilly. You really did. It is a whole different thing than clutter. It is dangerous, and it's really sad. It's really sad. All right, let me just get to the bottom. Okay, finally, I think I made it to the bottom. Hold on. Okay, so my problem is everyone gives me the hand-me-downs. Yes. So let's talk about decluttering. So a couple of things that I have learned, and I know they're going to be, I'm going to be a master of the obvious per se, but I'm going to share it with you because I used to be one of those people who would pull everything out of the closet and then start work. I've taken a different approach this time, and I actually feel a lot better with it. Have you ever taken out everything from the closet, right? Say a closet or a room or whatever, right? And you're doing, I don't know, maybe you're like halfway into it, and now you're just overwhelmed. You ever feel like that? What I've started doing, for example, with my bedroom closet, what I started doing was taking this stuff out and immediately deciding, what am I doing with it? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to toss it? Am I going to donate it? Am I not sure? Put them in different piles for that. So I found that when I got all the way to the bottom of my closet, which was, like I said, a nightmare, when I got to the bottom of it, I found out that all I had to do was put the stuff I was keeping in there. And I wasn't as overwhelmed. And I didn't want to just stop and do nothing, like Ann Dale said. And I think Farm Fresh said overwhelmed. Yeah, it's like it just it paralyzes you when you have all that crap, right? Leanne was talking about that. You sit in your house and you look around and you see all the clutter and it drives you crazy, but it's overwhelming and you don't want to do anything about it. So then what you do is you just keep looking at it. So we chose the between the holiday week, if you will, to get things done. And this week we even did some things. And we had our own reasons for that time frame, but it worked great because the two of us were home. But you don't have to do a bulk one like that. You can also do what, like Gwen said, Bro Cowgirl, is clearing out one small space at a time and always breaking things down. But I really like the idea of going in the closet and pulling things out and having my piles ready in the totes and say, okay, this is going to donate. When the tote got filled up, I put it outside and I brought another one in. And it just made it so much easier to do, right? Because I had all my work clothes, all my dress clothes. The reality of it is if I can't wear jeans and a hoodie now, I'm not going. I got rid of all my dress shoes. I think I kept one pair of black just in case, flat. They're not even dress shoes. I'm talking like casual, but they're black leather shoes. And I thought, well, there you go. I know I have to make a scrap metal run, but I don't want to. I know one day I'll use it. Ryan just texted me and said, make room for 2024 auctions. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, a lot of the auction stuff does not come in the house. So yeah, so it's like, so that's one tip. The other thing is you can do one shelf. You can do one shelf of something. Or the other thing that we found helpful was as we took things out of the storage room, we put gardening with gardening. Stuff that got dropped on the toolbox that should have, or on the shelves and should have went out to the barn, is on a pile that says, go out to the storage barn. So like, for example, one of those was a water heater that we thought died on New Year's Eve. And in looking back, we think it was because the breaker popped instead, but we ended up replacing it. So I brought it inside. We were going to let it dry out. Never got to it. P.S. We found out it's working. Leanne suggested, excuse me, the 10 minutes a day or just set a timer. I can tell you right now, I used to work with a girl who would work on her paperwork at work, and I would hear her timer going off all the time because she was a couple offices down from me. She would work, I set a timer for a half an hour and work for a half an hour. Then she'd get up and walk around, come right back, set herself a timer. So super helpful. I do too. And Anne, you've been in that house for a long, long time. I get it, girl. I get it. We've only been here 4 years this month, and I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe it. Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. And then Tina said, I'm going to try and purge every 3 months. That's cool too. But just think about it. You can break it down into really small pieces, and don't do it to the point of overwhelming. Cut yourself some slack, but at least set the timer and say, I'm going to work for 30 minutes. That's not exhausting. Hey, Alfonso, hope you're doing well. So it's really, really a good thing. Lockdown didn't help with clutter. I don't know. We didn't lock down here, so I could see how that could be a problem. I could definitely see how that could be a problem. So one of the other things that we did was every time we declutter, right? I work best once I get going. Like, I have to keep going because otherwise I drag my feet. I dragged my feet on my closet, made sure it was the last one to go. And it was silly. It was silly. But I go out and take breaks all day long, anytime I want to. I don't overwhelm myself because it'll get done when it gets done. And we found boxes full of photographs, all wrapped up from when we moved in. Why? Because we don't have shelving here for pictures. I used to have a lot of surfaces to put pictures on, like I don't want to say dressers per se, because we haven't used dressers in years, but we had, like, say we restored a piece of furniture and it had a flat surface and we had the pictures on it. We had a lot of that in all our other houses. We don't have that here because we've really streamlined our stuff. And so we found a box of pictures and it was just crazy. Let me just see here. So one of the other things is, like I said, taking it out and putting it where it belongs and all of that. I want to go back to the aspects of how good it is. Well, no, I want to go back to, and I have my little list here. So hold on, let me just get my list. I have it on my phone. Excuse me. So when you have, I don't know, Alfonso, that's a good point. I'm going to see if I can look in just a second. So having all the clutter around causes you stress. It causes you to be scatterbrained. It decreases your productivity. It can cause relationship issues, so to speak. Depends on how bad it is or what's going on. It can cause anxiety for you. It can cost you money because you buy something you already have. It can drain you of stuff. It can make you feel depressed. And the list goes on and on. I have boxes with moving stickers on all of mine just because I'm tired of pulling them off. So I totally get that, Glenda. All right. So I can tell you, always losing guitar picks and harmonicas. Yeah, I agree. Moving causes problems in their own right. We just had that conversation. Yeah, small house with few closets is hard. So, Alfonso, are you able to take advantage of your state's vision impaired program? The reason why I'm asking is sometimes they have locator things that they can put. So say you have a harmonica, and I know that you can't see this, but you're listening to this. But for everybody else, I'm kind of modeling a harmonica. So you have a harmonica, and can you put a strap on it, or a handle on it, or a long mat? If it's a metal harmonica, can you use a long metal wand? But sometimes they have those locating tags for them. And for the guitar picks, I wonder if somebody could drill a hole in them and put them all on like a string on them, so you can, have them where you can find them. I don't know if that's helpful, but I just try to think about it because I can't find anything here when everything's a mess. Yeah, anxiety isn't a strong enough word. No kidding. So I found that what we did was we took our spare bedroom, and we have a bed in there. That's all it is for a spare bedroom. But I use it as a craft room. It's a hot mess. And it's cold in there too. That's the other thing. Very cold. One of the things that I did was, when I got done with the room, I just sat in there and looked around, and I felt like I was free. I mean, it just felt so good to be free. Good night, Tina. Have a good evening and a great weekend. Keep up the great work. And it just felt amazing. And we ordered shelves for there because I'm trying to get, the business stuff we talked about last live up and running. And I need what do you call it? I need a two shelving units. And sadly, the shelving units were cheaper on Amazon than they would be for me to make with wood. How sad is that? So we bought those, and then we ended up buying some for the closets, because that's the biggest problem is most of my clothes I want to fold because we don't have dressers. I want to fold them, and when I put them on the top shelf, they fall down because stacking is just a pain. So there's Alfonso. I'm going to stop for a minute and read some things for Alfonso. Some people put some suggestions in here. One of the ladies, so these are for you, Alfonso. One of the ladies I follow says to put things in the first place you'd look for them in. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Or find an attractive box and always put the harmonicas and guitar picks in that box as soon as you're done. Or I wonder if you could use a box to keep them in place. That's what my hubby does with these things. It's in containers, and he's just in the habit of putting in there when he's done. That makes a good point. And then we have the Colorado Center for the Blind here in the metro area, but unfortunately they won't accept me because I have multiple disabilities. High risk. Alfonso, what about the Department of Health and Human Services? Usually each state has one. I know they're better in some places than others. I'm not naive. North Carolina had a really good hearing and sight impairment program. So that's why I suggested it. So if you don't have it, you would know better. I totally get it. Excuse me. So now we're just waiting on the shelving to arrive and see how that goes. And I'm really looking forward to it because we'll actually be organized. We still have messes other places, like I was kidding around with this. This is stuff I have to go through. But it's a lot more manageable because in the spring, I usually do a spring cleaning. So that's why we're doing all this too, to make it easier. It's the Division of Voc Rehab. Oh yeah. Voc Rehab is not always the most beneficial in the States. Let me give a quick look. So Glenda at Grace and Fire said the National Federation of the Blind is another resource. Can one of the moderators put up the website for the National Federation of the Blind? Alfonso, I don't know if that's going to be helpful for you. Like, are you able to see the chat? Meaning, is it interpreted for you? Or I'm just going to look up Department of... Bear with me, guys, a minute. Okay, awesome. Have a great night, Holman's Homestead. Love to you guys. Okay, so the National Federation of the Blind. Okay, so in your state, Alfonso, I see that visually impaired folks do go through Voc Rehab. That's the only thing. You don't have any other health and human services programs that I see. I thought it might be separate from Voc Rehab because I know it is in some states. Thank you very much. Lazy days ahead. Anne said, oh, sorry, big yawn. I apologize. That's rude. Okay, so the NFB in my area is not that great either. They primarily focus on blindness only. Andale said it's so freeing to actually have a space that is decluttered. Oh, super freeing. I went into my closet. I got my PJs last night, and then I went into my closet this morning and got my clothes, and I didn't have to fight with it. And that was kind of odd for me. It was bad. It was bad. But I think there's a lot of benefits to doing the decluttering, however you do it. And I know that, let's see here. So they talk about it reduces your stress, improves your focus, increases your productivity, increases your relationships or the qualities of your relationships. I'm sorry, Tony. I didn't mean to do that to you. This is what happens when I sat down today. It encourages you to be grateful for what you have, gives you more energy, saves you money. They also link it to better eating habits, which is interesting. But I think for me, it motivates me, because once I do one spot, Now I want to do more because I sit there and look at how beautiful that spot is. Let's see. I'm going to hide my face for a minute so Tony doesn't, in case I yawn, I don't want Tony to yawn. Apparently, no, we are not supposed to fight it out with clothes, Gwen. I've been fighting it out for a while. Hey, Don Raby. Yeah, exactly, Scott. I mean, SD, it's like, it's so good stuff for you. Oh, I agree. It's easier to keep something clean once it's clean. So the other thing is, my hardest part is just getting started. Once I'm going, I can't stop. That's me. That's totally me. The reason we got started this time was not me. It was Ryan. Ryan was like, I can't take it in here anymore. We got to do something about this. Come on, let's go. And I was like, no, I don't want to. But it was really, really great. Once I get started, I'm on fire. But I do procrastinate for a very long time. But I will say this, I don't think I would have gotten my closet done had we not gotten the other 2 rooms done. And that's another suggestion. So the craft room or the spare bedroom was a lot of my mom's stuff and a lot of my stuff. Good night, Lantern Creek. I had, like, Ryan had nothing in there. And he didn't need to go through all the boxes. But I asked, he hung in there with me and kind of sat on the bed, playing on his phone and chatting with me. And every once in a while I'd say, hey, this box is full. Can you get another box? And then he cooked dinner and cleaned up the kitchen while I finished that room. So I didn't have to stop. So, like, those are other things. If you have a friend who can come over and help you, because it's just, sometimes just having somebody there is super helpful. I did my closet myself. He would walk in once in a while and say, how's it going? Because he was doing work and stuff. And he was like, holy cow. He'd come in and he'd go, wow, you move fast. And it felt really good to hear that. So then I keep going. Yeah, it is teamwork, Sarah. Super important. I really do think it's important for that. So it's like just being able to do that. He knew that after all day long of me busting it out until 8 o'clock, he had all that stuff cleaned up. So I didn't have to stop, feed animals, and then look at all that overwhelming stuff in the kitchen again. Let's see. I just want to go back. If I could declutter about 20 pounds, I'd fit into several very cute shirts. If not, they're going to the thrift store. Why is it so hard to accept I've been this size for 15 years? Yeah, I used to do that too. And you know what I do now? No, it's going. Don't need it. It's going. Yeah, well, I'm motivationally challenged too. Oh, Andale, girl, you're my people. I mean, it gets to a point in my closet that I don't want to wash clothes just because there isn't a place for them. I started piling outside my closet. It's in my bedroom. Nobody's going to see it. I'm so glad that I got it done, though. I really am. Yeah, Lisa Clovey, if I only had a magic wand, poof, all gone. Glenda said, I'm the weirdo that dejunks when hubby isn't around. I wait for him to go somewhere and then back off. I'm in the zone. I need the twinkle nose to make it go in place. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He used to travel and go on business trips and you dejunk. If you've been holding on to this stuff for any length of time, get rid of it. If the only time you see it is when you declutter a closet and it hasn't come out of the tote, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. It's not serving you well in the tote. It's not. We got rid of a bunch of things when we moved from North Carolina. This is before we started homesteading, and we were like, we're getting rid of this stuff. And I got rid of a serger sewing machine, among other amazing things I should have never got rid of. So I got rid of the serger. Now I'm kicking myself about the serger. I want to be honest. But if I look back, the last time I used that serger was in my 20s. When I left North Carolina, well, I'm 55 now, so it just sat there. So it's not a big deal, you know? Leanne, are you asking why am I kicking myself that I got rid of the serger? Is that what you're saying? So I got rid of it and I'm kicking myself because it just was a great way to do things like paper towels and all that stuff. But here's what I ended up buying a new sewing machine, which is good because the one that I had, I got when I was in my teens or 19. And it's just like crazy. Okay, I'm going to go back to the chat. I just want to see. Because Leanna had not been used in over 30 years. Over 30 years. Glenda, if you're not going to use that serger, let me know. We can talk. Send me an email. I got rid of it because we got tired of moving it from New York to Connecticut, Connecticut to North Carolina, and then I'm going to move it to SD. It just was stupid. So we got rid of it because it had not been used in over 30 years. And then life changed. So, but that's the only item in all these years that I've regretted throwing out. We had a salad spinner in that we had all those years. And when we left North Carolina, we got rid of it because we were like, this is ridiculous. We don't need a lot of salads. Guess what? I got one at a yard sale and then even found a better one, like an OXO. So the cheaper one, I'm going to keep for crochet blocking because I saw this neat idea where you can wash your crochet and instead of rolling it in the towel, you can put it in the salad spinner and then you can, it takes a lot of the water out so you can block it. So I'm going to try it before I get rid of it. An embroider machine. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, if you're interested in getting rid of that serger, you let me know, Glenda. No pressure at all, but like seriously, if you want to get rid of it, maybe we should talk. All right, I just want to go back. Sorry for the sniffles. It happens every time I sit near the wood stove. And yes, I have a pot of water on there. It just don't work. Okay. So Gwen does that too when her hubby's gone. Dawn, get rid of them. Dawn, how long have you had those clothes? If you've had those clothes for over 2 years, you have to decide, am I going to do something to fit in them? Or am I going to get rid of them? That's how I looked at it. I'm not telling you what to do, but that's how I looked at it. If I'm not going to do something about it, that's it. And Dale said, me too. SD Mountain Man said, like I said, about my skinny clothes. Yeah, same here. Smart man. It could, but I'm not telling you what to do there. You're on your own, buddy. Journals, diaries, and notebooks. I can't tell you what to do there. I will tell you this, if you go to get rid of them, you have to sensitively get rid of them. You have to destroy them so that they don't fall in the hands of anybody else because you don't want your business being read. So, for example, I often had a lot of stuff from my college classes that even though the names were changed, I had to burn because I did not feel comfortable if one iota of a word got out there. So I do have stuff like planners and stuff that I have to burn. Okay, Klingon Princess says, here's my vow. Tomorrow I'll purge my small closet of excess shirts. I have a 15-minute declutter on my daily list. That'll be tomorrow's declutter. You go, girl. You got this. You got this. Tony said, one man's junk is my treasure that I will use. Just as Tony, just as Angie. Let's see. I saw what Gwen said. And if you have a box of items that you're on the fence about, mark them maybes. And when you look at them a year or two from now, you might change your mind. Yes, a vintage serger. Totally, Jesse. Oh no. I even had someone comment on one of my videos, wow, lady, ever heard of decluttering? To you, Ann? Oh, tisk. Tisk. I don't like that people do that. I need to do something to fit them. They're only one size smaller. There you go. Burning some of those things is very cleansing for the soul. Amen. I thought I'd keep one tote of memories, but it's like 4 now. The purge is on. Yeah, so I had a ton of my mom's stuff, and it gets to the point where I had to do something with it, you know? And so each time that I go through it and I get rid of more. I kept all the pictures. I keep, all the pictures and stuff. And then I have to think about what to do with it because I can't keep it all, I had someone make a comment about the irony of lawnmower sitting in the weeds. Yeah, there's always poo-poos out there, Andale. I totally get it, Ann. Hey, Arizona Highland Homestead. The other thing is, see if you can give items away to people that you know, like giving stuff to your family, giving, safe other memories that you have and giving them to folks like, so I'm going to use Andale as an example, right? Andale may have a ton of items that maybe she's willing to part with, but wants them to go somewhere special in the family. She could give them to a family member, put them away for a granddaughter. Like I have a bunch of things here that I'm saving for my son from her. And again, the problem becomes, it becomes what to do with it. I have to store it until I can get it to him. I could scan the photos and make an online photo book. I think that's really cool. Someone actually told me to take pictures of pictures. And that's something they've done. Hey, Smoky Mountain Blast. Hope you're doing well. I think that's really cool. So right now I've got the pictures tucked away. You can, I always think of like scanning them onto a device, but then I worry that the device will become extinct, like CDs and DVDs did, so to speak. Yep, pictures of pictures in case the original's poof. Absolutely. But yeah, I think it's really important to do stuff like that. There's ways around it, and you can Google it, what to do with old pictures, Um, I've seen people take old pictures, have them, I don't know the right way to say it, but have it put on material, on fabric, and then you can make a quilt with all the pictures. I've seen stuff like that. People are really, really creative that way. My kids say no thank you, but they may change their minds. I hear you. That's why I have all the stuff here for my son. Or I have stuff for my granddaughter that I don't feel that my son is mature enough to handle yet, if that makes sense, you know? Because I want him to be responsible to take care of it. But I think that's really important to declutter some of that stuff, because it just makes such a huge difference on your mental health. It makes a huge difference on your mood. It makes a huge difference in your life. And I think that goes for other areas of your life, not just closets, right? I need to declutter my email too. Yeah, I've started doing that as well. I have a ton of stuff that goes to the junk folder, and I quick scan the junk folder and delete it all. Hey, Annette, our urban homestead. I have a problem getting rid of old tech cameras, hard drives, out of date too soon. I agree. You want to know what we have? We have a bunch of phones, cell phones, Blackberries, all that stuff. My fear is always when you go to sell them back, you know, I always worry about the imprint on the phone, because I've read a lot about it, and they've talked about the fact that even if you delete something on a computer, people can get it back. We've thought about kind of just pew-pewing them to destroy them. But there's always guts in them and stuff. So we've always worried about that kind of stuff. So I do have that kind of stuff. The other thing I have is my mom's iPad. And we tried to get into it. She must have changed the password at some point or didn't write it down. And I can't get into it. You know, it's an older one. I think it was an iPad 2 when I gave it to her. But it's crazy. And that right there, Suburban Hillbilly, is exactly my problem with my son. I don't feel he's sentimental. And I also don't feel that he has the maturity level yet. So I worry about that kind of stuff. And if he's watching, he's going to kill me. I love you, dear. All right, just want to go back up. Sarah says, I have thousands of photos stuck on 2 Windows phones because they never were compatible with printing kiosks. Oh, that's the worst. This thing is bouncing around. Hang on a minute. Thank you, Alfonso. Joy says, I have a tote with old photos and I save a lot of them to digital, but you can also lose the digital. Best to make copies of digital and give to fam in case of emergency to get them back. Smart. Yeah, Tony, I'm right there with you. I'll never sell my old cells. The more we rely on them, the more dangerous it is to sell them. It's my opinion. Hey, Extreme Homestead. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year. My daughter is sentimental. My son is not. Yeah, exactly. Since nobody has asked yet, where's the star of the cast? I'm not going to mention his name. He is actually wore out, and I'm going to tell you why. All of the excitement of decluttering and moving things about has him anxious. And I swear he thinks we're moving again. And he's really wiped out at the moment because all the hubble and bubble and hustle and bustle and all that stuff is literally freaked him out. And so then he crashed at night and he slept in the morning. You talked about keeping kids stuff, then it changes to parents giving you their stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. I have all my mom's stuff. Dealing with my dad's estate and my grandma's photo collection. Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's exactly what I was going through this week. I'm not reading that comment that says his name. Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah, what ends up happening is he's awake all day and not sleeping. And then when everything quiets down at night, he eats dinner and he's passed out on the couch and I can barely get him up to go outside. And when I get him to go outside, he goes back to bed and the poor thing like slept till 8:30. Didn't even get up. He's done that like 3 times this week. Have a great weekend, Nancy. Yeah, our dog has moved so many times too. Diesel moved from South Carolina to live with us in North Carolina and then here to South Dakota, but not a lot of times, but he doesn't do well with it. Rebecca said, before my sister passed away, she gave me pictures to go through of our family, asking me to find out who these people were, and I now don't know what to do. Huh. Do you have people in your family, like distant relatives, that might be able to help you? Or could you get on a genealogy website? That might be able to help you. Oh, excuse me. Our traveling dog passed away a few months ago. Oh, poor thing. I'm sorry to hear that. My wife and I have been telling our grandparents and aunts and uncles to go through all the old pictures and write down the names of the people in the pictures. Smart. It's a smart idea. Oh, that's smart. 43 years and he already replaced her and she's taken over the farm. And, oh, I'm sorry. That's miserable. Miserable. Oh, so sad. But that's the other thing too I think about is like we're getting older. Like I can't keep everything. And then I always think about like what's going to happen to it when I'm gone. And I don't think it'll receive the same care and love. So it's kind of hard. Oh, nice. That's a good idea, Glenda. Oh, Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly, don't you dare apologize, my friend. That's what you're here for. Aw, Great Dane Mastiff mix. Nice. I'm not mentioning the name because I don't want the barking. That's a great idea. So before we get to the end of this, I want to talk about decluttering other aspects of your life. I want you to think about, and this is, you don't have to do this as a new year, new you kind of thing. I'm not into all that garbage. But it just was time, right? We've been here 4 years. That was mainly why we started it. But one of the things to think about is decluttering all aspects of your life. And what do I mean by that? People. We've all had people in our lives that were emotional vampires, were soul suckers, toxic people in our lives. Think about those relationships. If they're not serving a purpose for you and all they're doing is causing you grief, think about if you need that relationship in your life. I will tell you that is quite freeing as well. Set boundaries with people, healthy boundaries with people, so that way you're not getting taken advantage of. If they can't respect your boundaries, then it's time to move on. That's where it's at. And for me, that meant family members as well. because just because they're blood does not mean that they have the right to treat me poorly. End of story. But who can decide what the boundaries are? I can't. You have to decide that. So I think that that's really important for you to think about, because if you continue on a cycle of people who take advantage of you, people who are emotional vampires, people who are toxic, people who are nothing but negative and complain, it's going to tear your soul out. You're going to be miserable. You're not going to want to be there. If you're at a job you don't like, keep working there, and then maybe looking for something different, because if that job is sucking the life out of you, is it worth it? Think about it. Think about it. I know for me, it was changing my career to just a mom job to actually something that mattered in my life. And I felt like when I dropped dead one day, I could feel like I made a difference in the world. And that was important to me. You do have to respect yourself, Lisa. You're so right. Boundaries are so important, especially with people you spend lots of time with, sometimes loving from a distance. Ding, ding. Keep true to you. Absolutely. I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. Agreed. Agreed. And that goes full circle back to me posting those embarrassing pics on Instagram, right? It's reality. So I'm not going to sit there and be the person who preaches decluttering and then says, here's my closet, it's overflowing. No, it's more like this, exploding, And I think that's the stuff that we have to think about, that we let go of, because letting go of things that don't serve us, letting go of possessions, people, values, maybe some of your values don't serve you anymore, and you've moved on to value something different. I know that I value different things now than I did when I was in my 20s. So I think it's important to always hold on to who you are, but also to reevaluate and look at where you're going. Yeah, some people don't have reality anymore. I agree. Of someone never being able to make it out of your craft room unharmed. Exactly. Heather, I'm telling you, that craft room and the fact that the shelves are coming, like, I'm antsy to have these shelves arrive. They're supposed to come Monday, and I'm hoping they come Monday midday so I can put them together and get them, take the stuff out of the closet and put it on the shelves and get going. Because now this holidays are over, I can function in there. I can get moving on stuff. So I'm super excited about that. Excuse me. Any thoughts? Any questions? I mean, you guys have been sharing all along, but just any thoughts on the decluttering? Any more advice to give to people? Any more suggestions? Anything like that? I know I've been trying to share them as we go, but we have new shelving coming also for more stuff. Awesome. The shelving that we bought was that metal stuff. Those metal shelves that a lot of people use for canning. And that's what I like about it, because say the craft thing doesn't work out, I've got some really cool heavy duty shelving for pantry goods. So that works for me. I've been doing the garage and things are moving. I've got a time crunch before seed starting. Good for you. Use a time crunch to motivate you. That's awesome. And just do it. Spend 15 minutes a day or an hour. Yep. The problem I have is everyone knows the quality of work I do and expects me to give them a great deal. My response is, how would you like it if your boss at the end of the week said he needs a deal? Agreed. Have you looked up how to price your work, Tim? I'm just wondering, because I looked up how to price my work, And I'm glad I did, because it was definitely interesting. Gwen said, oh, wait a minute. I got to go back up. I missed something. The only thing I ever wanted is the one thing I'll never have. I just want a happy, close-knit family that took care of and loved each other. I'm right there with you. I want you to know, Rebecca, you're not alone. I've always wanted that. I don't have it. And it's never going to happen. It never was going to happen. That's reality. And we had a very small family. Gwen said, just start somewhere. Rebecca said, stuff isn't important unless it holds good memories or serves a purpose. Yep. Oh, I'm trying to get to Jesse's comment there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Homesteaders in general tend to save things because you don't know if there'll be a day when you won't be able to find things, especially if SHTF happens. Yeah, Jesse, that's exactly what I said in the beginning. I said homesteaders are even more guilty of this because we keep stuff. I will tell you this too, even our farm stores on the property where we have piles of stuff, we go through and get rid of stuff periodically because it gets out of control. And it needs, you can look at it after a while and say, I don't need this L-shaped piece we took out of the panel. You know, it's so true. I'm sorry for the sniveling. Plus, I was told I can get a freeze dryer if I get it done. Heather, what are you waiting for? Heather, you better get going, girl. If someone told me that, I'd have that stuff cleaned out in 5 minutes. Boom. I'm just kidding. I know it's hard. I begged my hubby for a filing cabinet, but he keeps buying fabric. No. Take a look at on Marketplace. Take a look. Sometimes hotels get rid of stuff, and a lot of the times they just throw it out or they bring it to Habitat for Humanity. I was bad at pricing as a handyman. Let go of, oh, I love this. I love this. Let go of your fantasy self, live in the now, and make your present great. I agree. Choose to focus on what matters in my life. I've seen the worst in life and the best. I choose to keep my mind clear and focus on what I want to. Keeps my mind decluttered. You go, girl. I keep copper pipe, brass. Exactly. Xander. Heather, what are you doing watching this live? Get going. Go, go, go. Never looked it up, but I'm going to just to see what it says. Yeah, what I would say is since you can look at it as from a handyman standpoint, or you can say look at it from a carpentry standpoint, like use a lot of different lingo, and you can say in Western Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, and see what they say. That was all the stuff that I did, which was pretty cool. Yeah, filing cabinets at thrift stores all the time. Filing cabinets at Salvation Army. Good advice. My mother and I have a deal. If we get rid of 4 boxes, we get to go shopping at the thrift store for items we really need. That's a great deal. I love that. That's awesome. Any other last questions or thoughts? Rebecca's going to declutter her bedroom tomorrow. It is snowed here. Wow, good for you. Yeah, I am. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't think much because we, like I said, we have that one last room to do, and it's going to be really cold. I don't care to be in Norman's old room because it'll be really cold in there. So I'm waiting on that. Keep it simple. That's my last thought. Yeah, just start somewhere. Start somewhere. Set an alarm. Do it. And yeah. Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Everybody seemed like they really liked the chat and were interested. I loved all of your feedback. You guys always give great ideas. It's always good to hear other people's thoughts on it. Good night, Tony and Angie. You too, stay safe and warm. Scott SD, it'll be 32 during the day tomorrow, but then after that, we're going to be pretty cold for the week. So he needs a helmet, but I got rid of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, get busy, Heather at Milk and Honey. We're going to talk on Tuesday at the live. Oh, good. I'm glad, Andale. I'm glad. Well, y'all, you have a last thought. Decluttering comes in stages. There's no shame. Yes. All right. Go forth and declutter. Have a great weekend, y'all. Take care. Bye.